So in terms of what I've done in relationship to this question and in terms of assessment, which was a big thing for everybody at Eden Center and at the school, I convene GI 422 at the Department of Gender Studies, which is Sexuality, Gender, and Globalization. It's a master's level course for students within the department and beyond. And usually 30% of the students' overall mark for the course is a full day conference. Students present 10-minute research papers on a topic of their own choice. This is usually done in person. It's a really great way to end the term. It happens on the last day of Lent term after a full year's course. It's really much loved by students. People in the past have brought their friends, they've brought their parents, they've brought whole groups of people. They tend to do extraordinarily well on this assessment, in part because of the energy that happens in the space itself. They show up for each other, and along with presenting really interesting research, the day gives them a sense of belonging and achievement. And obviously this was not possible this year. So I quickly had to come up with a plan. As the students had already begun doing their research, they'd begun writing their papers. And I figured that the only way to sort of keep the ethos of the conference was to turn the conference from an in-person one to an online conference. So instead of showing up on the day and presenting a paper, students submitted audio clips to me, 10-minute audio clips. They submitted their abstracts, they submitted PowerPoints, and then their bios as well. And then each student was put onto a different panel. We had 6 panels altogether of 4 students each. And as you can see from this PowerPoint slide here, this is one of the pages of the panels. They have their name with their paper title, with their abstract, and there's a little SoundCloud file that's embedded into the website where you can click and you can play, and it plays them reading their paper. For those that did a PowerPoint slide to accompany their paper, I also had to work with SlideShare to embed their PowerPoint slides into the paper, so you can also then click through the slides. This, as you can probably imagine, took countless hours of my time and was really only possible because I've done some web development stuff in the past at a really basic level. And even though I've been doing that kind of work for years, this was a really labor-intensive project. It took about 2 weeks of my time alongside everything else, and was really, really intense to do. If you can go to the next slide. Great. So despite the fact that this, that it was really sad to not have an in-person conference, hosting the conference online did mean that it could have a different kind of life and scope. So as you can see from this slide here, we had, once the website went live, there was 2,500 views of the website from many different parts of the world, 52 countries people visited it from. I'm not sure if there's others that had to sort of go through a VPN, and I think that's a question of access that we're going to have to really think about in the future for online learning. There were 12,000 impressions of the tweet that I sent out on Twitter, and a number of previous and current students retweeted it and engaged with it on that platform as well. The website's now an accessible archive for the course, so next year students can turn to it, people can share it, and that kind of gives it this longer life than an in-person conference. And it also allowed for more flexibility on our side for marking, because we had more time to engage with the papers rather than just sitting with it for a day. So there was a huge shift in what this looked like. And I think that there's something exciting a bit about the way that it was able to travel. But I wanted to end by saying that I don't think that there's anything that can fully replace community, that can replace face-to-face learning, immediate feedback and engagement. One of the things with the conference is the students then also ask questions to one another, and that was impossible in this model. Sharing physical space with others was integral. And I think that the digital and virtual attempt to mimic this in person, but they exacerbate alienation and stifle genuine connection. along with requiring extraordinary amounts of extra labor. But I'm really glad that I was able to create a space to share my students' incredible work, and I really hope that those of you on this call go and look at the website and listen to their amazing research. They've done a fabulous job. So thank you.